podcast called Jellison Podcast.
First ever type 1 diabetic in UFC history.
Doing fine, Nice to be with you.
Get out!
He's like, yeah. My tunnel vision and my periphery, I'm like off field.
Hey, you know how it is, though. Hey, when your team.
I don't remember that. That's crazy.
What's up, everyone? We're finally back with another episode of the Jellison Podcast. They have a very special guest, Malcolm Hill. Malcolm, how you doing, man?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you so much for doing this. I know we had a little issue with the time change over in Israel. So how's the season been going over there for you guys?
The season's been good. Very different compared to most teams because we went through a coaching change right in the middle of our season. So our coach went somewhere else and we had a new coach, and it's just adjusting to just different coaching styles, and it's almost kind of like a culture change. Mm-hmm. So it's just been an interesting year. I kind of see it personally as a good challenge just because, when you're throwing something different, you have a chance to respond. And, whenever you have the opportunity to respond the correct way. And I think we've been doing a good job of that, just trying to adjust and getting better each game.
Mm-hmm. And over there, do all of them speak English, or is there like a language barrier between the coaches and the players at all?
The coaches and the players, no. Most of the time for overseas team, most of the coaches and players, for the most part, they know English. And outside of the team, as far as the city and the country, most people speak English. Here's a country where kids learn English, I think, starting at a young age, like second or third grade. So most people know English here. Not a language barrier here, thank God.
Yeah.
No pun intended, being in Jerusalem.
Yeah. We're coming from the Holy Land. What's the pandemic been looking like over there compared to over here in the States?
The pandemic, it was done interesting because we had lockdown twice, and we actually had a vaccine out. So we've been having the vaccine out for about a month now, and I think we're about to open things up. People who have the green card, they're allowed to go do places and stuff like that. And people who don't have the vaccine, they're going to be the ones that kind of have to stay home and can't really do much. So, but man, the last, I think before things open, because things are opening back up just recent, like the past week. Before then, some people saw it as a challenge, but I found time to, take a lot of time to myself to learn and kind of grow as a person, just being to myself at home all day outside of basketball. Mm-hmm. So I took the time to do a lot of growing and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a guy on he's actually from Wales, and it was cool to see like the difference between like how the different governments or whatever kind of approach things. Like I know here in Indiana, we've basically been open the whole time. Like,
really?
Like I can go do whatever I want. You just have to wear a mask when you're in there and social distancing and stuff. But It wasn't like this last year. It's been like, oh, lockdown, you can't even leave your house. So I didn't know which is a good thing for me, especially being in school. But
yeah, right, exactly. During your 4 years, yeah.
Yeah. So do you kind of keep track of what's going on over here in the States at all?
Track as far as keeping track of
just like current events or the pandemic, how we're handling it, things like that.
I'll say like main topics. I would say that much, like the main topic. Like I heard like I had got a wind of how Houston was, which is crazy. I had heard wind of that. That was nuts. Yeah, I'll say main news. I keep up with it, but like I don't really like stick my nose in what's going on over there. Not like that.
Yeah, fair enough. I know a lot of people. I think it's more younger guys. They kind of overlook the overseas leagues in basketball. So talk about some of just how good your league is, because you're in the top league in Israel.
Yeah. When it comes to the on-court stuff, it's a big adjustment because coming over here, one, you're not given anything at all, which that can be eye-opening for a lot of people. And then second, like you kind of don't have respect from anybody. And, you could come across a situation where a coach could be really tough on you, really tough, on top of the fact he might not know English that great. So I would say, if anything, it's a mental battle first before you even step on the court and compete. Now, when it comes to the competition, yeah, there's some hoopers out here. You know, there's hoopers all across the world. They're pretty good, on top of the fact that you're playing against, you know, the other team's best quote unquote import player. So it's a different dynamic, especially the living part. On top of that, I mean, I could go on for days about it, but yeah, I would say the hardest part is just being away from your family, your friends and stuff like that, especially first year, the young guys. But if you can overcome that barrier, there's a lot of good opportunity to be set for life over here for sure. So it's all about just mental.
Yeah, 100%. What's the process like of signing over there compared to what would be in like the NBA or the G League?
So the process of signing over here is I only signed up for NBA Summer League, and they're kind of like give you a heads up. You know, you'll be hearing about a month or two. Overseas, once you sign for overseas, depending on the time, they might want you to leave that day or the next day, next weekend type stuff. Everything is kind of snappy and rushed, and the expectations are very high. Whenever you sign to an overseas team, if you do not perform up to standards, they will release you. So that's like quickly, very quickly, way quicker than in America. So yeah.
When I was looking at you guys' like team roster and all that stuff, I thought it was interesting. They had like the guys on the team, and then they had like a whole list of players that they released, like on the roster page or whatever on their website. And there's like 6 or 7 guys on there maybe. I can see how it's kind of more cutthroat.
Yeah, and you know what? Another part is it could just be, you know, business aspect, you know, money issues with the club or stuff like that. Like it could be a variety of issues. You could just be on the wrong end. So yeah, man, it's it's a different aspect over here.
And then we kind of talked about this before we hopped on. One of your teammates is actually a Purdue legend, Kris Kramer. So talk about what being his teammate is like and how he's impacted you.
It's been good having him as a teammate because we actually played against each other last year, and that was pretty fun. It's almost like Big Ten matchup. So being on the same team, it's cool having that similarity of understanding. Like, you know, we're kind of built with a different type of toughness compared to everybody else, because the Big Ten is, I think, very defensive mindseted, you know, and we kind of both have that in the same way. And he's just been good, you know, just having a guy to talk to, just like with a lot of guys, because we have an older group, and I'm 25, so I'm like semi-old, getting there. So just having guys to, like, you know, just ask around, pick their brains, stuff like that's been good.
And how many like former Big Ten guys are over there right now in your league specifically?
In my league, 1, 2.
Is there like quite a few, or is there not that many?
I wouldn't say that many. I'll say about 4, 3 or 4. I think, not over here. Yeah.
And do you guys ever trash talk each other about? I mean, obviously Illinois has been whooping up on Purdue as of recently, but do you and Kris or any of the other guys trash talk about the college days?
No, we don't never trash talk about the college days. If anything, we talking about the young boys that's on the teams now, stuff like that. You know, it's kind of funny, like, because I'm officially a fan now after this year. Trent and Georgie was the only people that I kind of like knew hand in hand like that. And now, like, I know nobody on the team. I'm a real fan. You know, Kris was like, yeah, man, it was crazy for me too, stuff like that. So it's kind of funny, like, being in this situation. Now I'm getting really old.
I was talking to Lewis Jackson. You don't know. He played with Purdue around the same time Kris was there, and I was talking to him the other day, and he gets so fired up about like the Big Ten and Purdue basketball. I think it's so funny because he's like 10 years removed from playing. But I want to get back to how hard it was to kind of leave the U.S. like right after you graduated to play overseas. What was that transition like?
The transition was it was difficult, especially because my first stint was in the Philippines. Never about like that. They actually love basketball. The Philippines, that was like an awesome time being over there. Just the fact that I was across the world, you know, like think it took me 2 days to come back home, but I think it was a 16-hour flight, something like that to get there. So it was tough off rip.
Yeah.
And like they kind of have that different type of pressure in the PB. Like, you know, if you don't perform well in practice, they'll send you home. So, you know, I'm like, all right, then bet, fresh out of college, like this is my first gig, but it was fun being over there. And, you know, after 2 months, they released me, and having to move all my stuff straight, like from one place to the next, that was hard. That was difficult mentally. I'm like, dang, like, you know, I'm used to being settled someplace. I was just at Illinois for 4 years straight. You know, my next team sends me home after 2 months. That was tough for me.
Yeah.
So then after that, going to Germany, and I fell into a good situation where I was, you know, with a good group, had good teammates, and, you know, that made the rest of my first year really good. But yeah, that was a tough point for me mentally. Like, dang, like, is this really worth it? Like, do I want to go through this? You know, I had that moment my first year out.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever really seriously consider like retiring from basketball altogether?
Could I consider it right now?
Or no, like when you were going through that time where you got released, did you like consider it?
I wouldn't say I considered it, but I was mentally drained. No, I love the game too much, but I was like mentally drained from that. I wouldn't say I wanted to take a break, but it took a hit on me for sure.
Yeah.
But I see why a lot of guys, like, it's very understandable how a lot of guys, you know, it's tough for them being overseas because it's different.
Mm-hmm. What do you think has been the coolest place that you've been able to play or go visit since you've been overseas playing hoops?
The coolest place I've been able to visit or play. I'll say the coolest place I visited was actually with my college, Illinois. We went to Paris. That was pretty cool because I went on top of the Eiffel Tower with my people, especially my mom. Being able to like take my mom to Paris and the other cities that like we went to, I was like, yo, from playing basketball, like,
yeah,
that's pretty cool to give her that opportunity. So that's probably my favorite place being.
Mm-hmm. And you kind of mentioned how you kind of become a true fan now. How much NBA and NCAA hoops are you guys able to watch and keep tabs on?
Me personally, I don't really watch NBA or NCAA hoops like that. I'm able to catch the highlights for Illinois, but as far as like, I mean, I keep up with the main NBA news, but I personally don't really have the time for that because I'm like focused on like other things, other ventures that I have going on. So, but yeah, and plus like, you know, I catch some Illinois games depending on the time because most of the games come on at like 3 or 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need my sleep, so
be cashed out.
Yeah.
So what are the other ventures that you're kind of working on?
I'm working on my real estate business for the most part on the side, and if I'm not doing that, I'm like working on my body, like stretching, Pilates, yoga, stuff like that on the side. I'm either doing something for basketball or for my real estate stuff, one or the other. Like, I fill my day, you know what I mean, from when I wake up to when I go to bed. On top of the fact that I got to do my prayers and stuff too, that takes time. So yeah, I'm a busy guy.
So did you guys watch March Madness at all? Because I think the time would have been like during the day or during the early evening, late night for you guys. Yeah,
I was able to watch some of the games with my teammate. I was actually, as soon as I had got the news of us losing after a game of mine, it was like, yeah, good win, Malcolm. Illinois lost. I was like so like mixed emotion. I'm like, how should I feel right now? Like, my team just won, but my school just lost. But besides that, I was able to catch some games. I watched Houston play once. Who else did I see play? I watched Baylor play. The reason why I watched all these Texas schools is because I was in my teammates from Tayshawn Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
He was watching all the Texas teams play, you know, in his room. So those are the games I was watching.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I wanted Illinois to go far. I picked them to go far. And then Purdue lost in the first round. We got upset. But going back to Illinois, how much pride do you have that you guys are getting more national attention now? Like, you guys were top 5 in the country for however long, but. Yeah,
I mean, it's a fun feeling. You know, it's kind of like, it felt so good this year, like waking up and just like expecting us to have a win, you know, that like felt good, you know, inside. Like, man, like to have that guarantee. But like I said, I love Illinois to death. I work out in Illinois gear every summer. Like I don't even work out on my like professional teams. Like I work on my Illinois gear. I don't know why. You know, it's a home school, home state. You know, my pride is different, you know. So yeah, man, it's great seeing the basketball program get back to where it's supposed to be, where they deserve to be, and I can't wait to see it for the years to come.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you guys got some dogs. I don't know. I think Io's probably leaving, but I think Kofi Coburn may stay another year. I mean, you guys bringing in good recruits too. You guys will be loaded for the next few years.
How's Purdue looking with the recruits? Are you guys bringing anybody good? Any good?
Yeah,
pieces?
we got 2 top 50 guys, Trey Kaufman and Caleb First. They're both like 4 or 5 guys. And then we have just a loaded freshman class from this past year, like Jaden Ivey, Brandon Newman, Zach Eady. He's 7'4". Bringing in another.
I always got one big guy.
7'4". So yeah, I mean we're gonna be pretty good next year, I would say. But so you talked about when you train in the summer. Do you come home for that over in the States, or do you stay over there?
I come home in the States. So usually when the season ends, when I get home, I'll take like 2 days off. I mean, not 2 days, no, kind of like 2 weeks off, you know, just time to relax, recuperate, stuff like that. And then I'll get back going in the gym. And, you know, sometimes I stay at my home city. Sometimes I'll go up to Chicago, get some run up with the guys, then work out with my guy, Jeff Pags, awesome guy. Yeah, so that's what I do for most summers.
Mm-hmm. And then kind of going back to your time with Illinois, you guys didn't have the success that I think you guys had the potential to have. But how do you look back on that time?
How do I look back on it? I usually just think of the fun times, honestly. I mean, the basketball could have been better, but, you know, at the same time, I did everything I could. I could have done more, but I think I did a lot of my time there. So I don't really have any regrets. I'm not upset about the basketball part. I mean, we're good now. So
yeah.
That's kind of what I think about. I think about the friendships and the connections that I have today, you know, from when I committed and stayed all the way through my 4 years. Like, that's the most important thing. Like, I have that connection to my home state, you know, and the fact that, like, I can be in position to, like, you know, one day be a booster, stuff like that, you know, just to give back. You know, it's lit. So I don't regret any of it at all.
Who are some of the guys that you're most tight with from those 4 years?
Most tight with? I had to say my guy Fink. You know, we talk. Yeah, Finky, man. I actually hosted him. When he was coming in, I hosted him. We went on the best official ever. We went to the bowling alley, and a high school, like, what's those little scary things on Halloween where you walk through it and like people come out and scare you and chase
like haunted house.
Haunted house, there it is. Yeah, we went to a haunted house. I think that was our official visit. So ever since then, man, you know, I'm cool with like his whole family, and you know, we talk every day. You know, we have big plans. So yeah, I say I'm tightest with him.
Mm-hmm. Is he over there too playing?
No, he's overseas playing right now. We actually played against each other last year, which was pretty awesome.
That's dope.
That was pretty cool. Yeah, so he's over. He's in Amsterdam right now, the Netherlands. Yeah.
What do you think changed going back to like your progression from freshman to sophomore year? You had a huge jump. What do you think clicked in that time that propelled you into being one of the best players in the Big Ten?
I'll just say that mindset of just wanting to get better. I mean, it's that simple. It's usually, you know, knowing what I know now, just examining what was going through my mind, just having that motivation to get better. What that prime motivation is, it could be different for any and everybody. But whatever the motivation is, you know, at the time, I just wanted to be, you know, the best basketball player I could be. And that was good enough for me to just consistently get up, wake up every day, just trying to get better in the gym. You know, it's really hard, you know, especially when you want to be successful, to do the same thing over and over and over again on top of ad stuff, you know, because, you know, you have good times. A lot of people want to relax. You know, bad things, you want to forget everything, you know what I'm saying? And then you have life on top of that, you know, some off-court issues, you know, to be able to just keep a consistent routine. And I was able to do that for that summer. And, you know, I took those 2 to 3 months very seriously, and that allowed me to, you know, have a jump. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like you were overlooked in college? Because, like, from a fan's perspective, whenever we had to play you, I was pissed because I didn't want to play you guys. You and Kendrick Nunn and Vontae Rice and all them. Like, it was just, yeah, I did not want to play you guys when I was as a Purdue fan. But I feel like you didn't get like the notoriety that you maybe deserved, because I thought you were top 5, one of the best players in the Big Ten easily.
Yeah, I never really had the national attention like that, but I mean, that's not really something I can control, really. You know what I'm saying? I don't really look for other people's approval. Back then, I kind of did a little bit, but now, like, you know, that's not something I should even like, you know, not waste my time, but like focus my energy on thinking about, because that's just caused negative thoughts. Like, why aren't people thinking about me? Why am I, you know, It causes insecurity on the inside. So, yeah, I mean, for any hooper out there, like, you know, someone's opinion on you doesn't make your value, you know, any more, any less, you know. So, yeah, that's my take on that.
And so when I was looking back, I remembered you might have dropped 40 on us one day, one game. I think it was your junior year. You guys just destroyed us. And did you have like a favorite team that you always played well against?
Favorite team that I always played well against? I wouldn't say my favorite team I always played well against, but I love playing against Michigan State. Those are the most physical games, and the refs never called anything. Everything was going. I don't know if it's like that with every team against Michigan State. It's almost like WWE playing against them. Illegal screens, illegal box outs. You know what I mean? Like, those games are always fun. And, you know, I love playing against Michigan State too. Like, I love that arena. I love the whole setup about it. So intimidating. You warm up and the fans are right there. Like, at the pre-warm up, you're like, dang, like, it's an experience. So I said that's probably my favorite team.
What about Mackey, man? You're disrespecting Purdue's home place.
You know what? I'll say one thing about your guys' place. Y'all place gets loud. Yo, because it's like a dome with all those people. Like, it got to a point I was like, yo, I can't hear. Like, I think y'all beat us by like 30 one time. Like, Carson was killing us when we went to y'all place. Like, yeah, y'all place is lit too. Don't get me wrong now. Y'all place lit too.
Well, I think they built it so like the sound bounces back.
Yeah,
like
that's
other arenas. Because like when I'm in there covering games and stuff, like I leave and my ears hurt.
Your ears be hurting. That's
yeah. I mean, it's so loud in there. It's crazy.
Yeah. What's probably your favorite game you've probably covered there?
I've only been so I started covering them last year. My favorite, probably we beat Iowa by like 40, I think 30 or 40, and Tommy Luce came in at the end of the game and hit like 2 or 3 threes, and that's the loudest I've ever heard it. It was insane. But I also went to the as a fan, I went to the game we played Virginia at home. You have to be lost in the Elite Eight. That was fun too because we beat them by like 30.
Oh, and the Elite Eight. Oh yeah, I know that was a good time.
It was fun, but I forgot what I was going to ask. How fun was it to be in the backcourt with Kendrick Nunn during those years and seeing him?
Yeah, it was cool being with him. He's a cool dude, man. Just fun being with him on the court. And he's a cool dude off the court too. That's what I liked about him the most, because I knew about him before he knew about me. I didn't really have the hype in high school, and he did. You know, I just remember meeting him, and just the fact we've been cool ever since just kicked it off. And I just noticed we was always supporting each other, you know. So good dude. To see what he's doing in the league. Oh, that's so lit. That's lit.
Cold. He's cold. I mean, you guys had probably the best backcourt in the Big Ten when you guys were at your peak, like that junior year.
Yeah.
You guys were dogging on everybody. But I remember what I was gonna say. I don't know. You probably don't know this since you're not like super in tune, but the Big Ten refs have been absolutely terrible this year. Like Bo Borowski, people have been calling for his head for so long. I mean, it's terrible. I don't know if you had that same experience when you were playing, but like it feels like every single fan base is complaining about him on Twitter during and after games and everything like that.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I missed that one.
Did you have any officiating crews that like, all right, this game's gonna be tough?
Nah, I take the referee. I take the approach different with them. I be seeing them like human to human. I be trying to talk to them. I'll just ask for their name. They make a call that I think's a bad call. I'll ask them about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be like, all right, I'll just be like, hey, could you watch this? I don't really be tripping off of them. I mean, yeah, I'm a little different.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I would get teed up if I played, but I'm kind of a hothead like that. So.
Oh yeah, you and a few of my teammates will get along. Trust.
Is there any game that sticks out to you from your college days that was probably your favorite?
Probably my favorite. I'll probably say I don't really have a favorite. I'll probably say Maryland if I could think one at the top of my head, because that was the one that kind of caught me by most surprise because Ray had went down. And I kind of got thrown into that position and we won the game and I played well. That was like on national TV. So if I could name one off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm. And then what do you think kind of held you guys back from getting into that upper tier of the Big Ten? Because you guys were certainly talented.
Yeah, we were talented. Just not being able to consistently keep the pieces together and playing well, enough throughout the season. Mm-hmm. That's probably what it was, just having those pieces playing well consistently together.
Mm-hmm. And then we talked about off the court, kind of the difference between over here in the States compared to overseas. What about on the court, like actual X's and O's? What are some of the biggest differences?
Some of the biggest differences, I wouldn't say there's really too many differences. I mean, besides the coach, not knowing English as good as the American coaches. Mm-hmm. That's probably the biggest difference. Yeah, I mean, the coaches over here, they're smart and they have really good tactics. Different ones too. I think a lot of players, they're able to get better based off of being able to play overseas basketball. Mm-hmm. See the game in a different way.
Mm-hmm. And when I found out that you're playing in Jerusalem, I was wondering if you had been to I forget what it's called. It's like the big rock. What's it called? I don't want to be disrespectful, but
I know what you're talking about.
Like the Mecca or something.
I think I'm aware of what you're talking about, but I'm not sure of the name. I think I was supposed to go visit there.
You have or haven't?
I haven't. Things been closed.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. I mean, that's something I want to go try out. Just say I've done it. But
you want to travel, huh?
Yeah.
Go to different places of the world. You should do that, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do you want to go to?
Where do I want to go to?
Mm-hmm.
I want to go everywhere.
Okay.
All 7 continents.
All right.
But I think Israel would be dope to go to Jerusalem. Mm-hmm. I've always thought like that. I think it might be like a false sense of reality, but like those like German or Switzerland towns, I always thought that the architecture looks really dope. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you noticed that while you were there. It's kind of like old timey. I don't know. It's weird, but I like it.
Now that you say that, I do. I see what you mean by that. Thinking back when I was in Germany, those are good as well.
Yeah, but I've only been to Canada, unfortunately.
How was Canada? No, that's cool, bro.
I mean, it was like the same as the States, honestly. Just more like from where I'm at, there's not like a whole lot of diversity. So I mean, like my family was in the minority up there, which was kind of weird, but it was also really cool. I liked it. I love Toronto. I thought Toronto was super dope. Going to the 6.
Yeah. What cool stuff do they have in Toronto? What were you able to do?
The space beam thing. We went and saw that, and then we kind of just like walked around the city. But it was right when Drake was about to drop Scorpion.
Oh, so City.
Do you guys listen to guys back over here? Like, do you guys keep up with all the drops and stuff?
Yeah, I keep up with the mainstream music. I like listening to like podcasts and stuff like that. Podcasts like audios of books, stuff like that. I keep
Your
up
favorite
with
podcast?
my favorite podcast. What's it? See, I don't know the guy's name. It's like Kiwak or something. He talks about like teaches how to like use your brain better, how to learn better, read faster, stuff like that. I like listening to his podcast, and I just like, Jamil, of course. Jamil's my favorite podcast I listen to. Astro Flipper. He's a guy that does real estate. I like listening to his podcast a lot.
You should check out. You played against Rafael Davis, right?
Who?
Rafael Davis on Purdue.
Probably, yeah, depending on the year.
No, he don't ring. His name doesn't ring a bell.
Rafael, yeah. Where he playing at right now?
He's not playing.
He's not. He's a bucket.
He hurt his back. I was actually with him the other day. He's doing like all these camps for kids and stuff. He did one in Lafayette, so I was there with it was me, him, Blue Jack, and AJ Hammonds. We're all there. AJ's a goofball.
I can imagine. Yeah, AJ. I remember him being funny. He was funny to talk to on the court.
Yeah, man. But I'm not gonna hold you any longer. I know it's kind of getting late over there, but hey, thank you so much for coming on and taking the time to do this. I apologize for the time mix up and making you wait a little bit, but I really appreciate it. It was an honor to have you on.
Oh, for sure, yeah. It was fun. I'm glad you invited me.
Yep, for sure. All right. Take care. Stay safe over there. All right.
Yep. Thanks, bro. You too.